Welcome to another episode of Daddy's Right Here Live. I'm your host, as always, Sabir Aleem. As usual,
just look in your feet.
we're going to kick it off with some music.
Indeed.
Make sure you go to any of your favorite music streaming platforms to find all of my music.
Grown men caught up in gossip and idle chatter, sitting around counting another man's money, betting on whose woman's ass is fatter. It's all laughs and giggles when they start calling her wiggles. But these same dudes want to pull the heater when their main man starts chasing that cat, belabeling her a cheater when she claps back, brandishing his own goods like a badge of honor. But he has none for her. Sister, 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 there's far too many of you crying. Brother, 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 there's far too many of you lying. Are the goods really his or just on loan? After all, if she gives it away, it's just gone. Well, not all of it. Somebody else can get some too. But why do we get so upset when somebody gives what belongs to them to someone outside of us when it was never ours in the first place? But it does beg the question, why do you keep telling me it's mine? You deny me at will, then give it away as a resolve to our unresolved, and that makes you feel better. About what? What? Sister, 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 there's far too many of you crying. Brother, 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 there's far too many of you lying. Why is she the bride and he is the groom? She should stand for purity, commitment, and strength, while he is to be prepared and trained. For what? Again, understanding the significance of this Eve to Adam, one standing for evolution and the other being the smallest unit of everything, both contributing 23 chromosomes to make a whole one. But it only takes one to destroy a son. Sister, 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 there's far too many of you crying. Brother, 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 there's far too many of you lying. Making us good ones to bad. You know what I mean? Eventually, this all comes to full circle, be it the world, repetition of life, those in your life, or your constant sacrifice. It is the male ordained by the Creator who is to shoulder the responsibility of being the learning one, rightly guided by the only one, humankind, a body of one, a life of test. The time has come. They had the opportunity, couldn't get the job done. There won't be another. There won't be another. There won't be another. The time is one. The time is one. The time is one.
We got a great show today. Part two, respect or leave. It's time to start showing the brothers respect. You're in a relationship with them, either allow them to lead, submit, or roll out. Real simple. We keep having this problem. And I'm talking about men. I'm not just talking about black men. I'll say that. I'll be specific. We need respect over love. We want love. Let me change this. Respect to men is love. Stay tuned. More music. Ain't nothing.
Dreams and nightmares, hopes and fears, some big, some small. Got your trauma on recall. We put that old boogeyman in this place many years ago, but they still unpack them sheets annually, doing a little recruiting, you know. Shit. We ain't sure. That's why they hiding in plain sight. It's what they do. It's not just us they're after you too. What's up, y'all? Ain't nothing. Ain't nothing. Apparently, elected officials need to be brought up on their awareness as to how they came to be. There's term life, whole life, and no damn life. Jobs, justice, and equality do fall under your purview.
So do.
Maybe some of y'all need to join the protesters too. Can't form it, waging war on your own. Standing at the fence, neither side, your home. Screwed us all, now you wanna talk dirty. A lot of God, messing with your party. Who's wanna take the fall? What's up, y'all? Ain't nothing. Ain't nothing. It's easy to talk tough from the podium. Never step foot in the hood. See what's really holding them. Standing up there, scolding them. Stirring and hate and bolding them. Fuck around and find out we colder them. In our first rodeo, we older than them. Original man, we're soldiering them. What's up, y'all? Ain't nothing. Ain't nothing. We've got the experience. We know how it's done. They're rotating gatekeepers, keeping the bad chasers on the run. Grown ass men, not sirs but sons. Fighting for positions, but dying by gun. Check this. Our aim should be them. There's us, chasing paper that breathes in God we trust. Hustlers hustle, the players play. Public service are all bought and paid. Dabblers and dirty deeds, violators of law. Proven track record, constituent contingency clause. Just collateral damage. Just need your vote. Just without ice. Just a sacrifice. What's up, y'all? Ain't nothing. Ain't nothing. Check this. In front of the cameras, setting the bait. Media propaganda, let's stand just infinity. They're waving to the crowd, spewing empty promises. The applause is loud, and you still fall for this. It's a dog and pony show, threatening the woke. Donkeys and elephants, a three-ring circus, rope for dope. They floor the sin, hook, line, and sinker. They only want followers, not independent thinkers. Political leaders, sweet bottom feeders, men who are on their faces are two-tone. Political leaders, sweet bottom feeders, men who are on their faces are two-tone. Their faces are two-tone. Up and away, superheroes to many, saviors for some, a taker from enemy. They appear distinguished, the 1%'s toys, their souls extinguished, their minds destroyed. For you against you, all for the same breath. With us against us, it's a loyalty litmus test. Patriotism, dictator, diffusion, schizoid prism, it's a democracy illusion. Political leaders, sweet bottom feeders, men who are on their faces are two-tone. Political leaders, sweet bottom feeders, men who are on their faces are two-tone. Their faces are two-tone. Their faces are two-tone. Yeah, their faces are two-tone. They call it a chamber, believers of the manger. In God they trust not, falling angel, no stranger. In it till they die, from their seats they will cry. To our faces, telling lies, they're complicit, no surprise. The ceiling is high, they think the same of you and I. What they call woke is a politicized form of divide. All lives, no matter, just listen to the idle chatter. They're hiding in plain sight because they fear the smoke and splatter. Political leaders, sweet bottom feeders, men who are on their faces are two-tone. Political leaders, sweet bottom feeders, men who are on their faces are two-tone. Their faces are two-tone. The body count is growing from the propaganda that's sowing. They're hiding the hand, want to keep you not knowing. Peace seems to come through war, but war doesn't bring peace. Residual effects are an intermittent release. They think you'll be called, then they'll call one for you. Presenting arms as though they adore you. They're juvenalistic in nature, maturation missed. They turn the other cheek and receive the Judas kiss. Political leaders, sweet bottom feeders, men who are on their faces are two-tone. Political leaders, sweet bottom feeders, men who are on their faces are two-tone. Their faces are two-tone. Their faces are two-tone. Yeah, their faces are two-tone.
Joe Montana here. In my football days, I knew the importance of a strong defense.
Don't want no commercial in there. So, anywho, welcome to another episode of Daddy's Right Here Live. I'm your host, as always. We're going to go right on into uh, the subject matter here. Last week, we were talking about respect, and we were talking about how there's a difference for men in what love looks like. And for men, it's about respect. That's love for men, right? See, you can say all these wonderful, cute, fly things. You can do all these fantastic stunts in the bedroom and all that, but it means absolutely nothing if the man is not being shown respect. And there's different perceptions of what respect is. But what has to be understood here is that regardless of what your perspective of respect is, you need to learn how that man wants to be respected. It's real plain and simple. It's no other way this is going to work. Because all too often for many years, I always heard, well, no, Sabir, I do respect you. Right? But I'm telling you that it's disrespectful, this particular behavior, this particular action that you're presenting, that it is disrespectful. And as long as you continue to rule out for you, you're not taking into consideration me, the man, right? Don't be with the man, right, who you don't respect. And don't think that you're going to be with a man and be disrespectful of him and he's going to stay. Stay faithful. Stay in your circle. Stand by you. That's not love. That is not love. It is not acceptable when you are talking to me as your man with all this head movement, with all this foul mouth, with all this what you're not going to do, what you're not standing for. I never presented myself to you in that manner. So for you to think it's okay to talk to me like I'm some common Negro out on the street, that's the problem. That's the problem. And all too often, men are faced with this all the time. All the time. You think you're the only rider out there? It's free stuff out there. Well, you ain't got to give up nothing but a date. And it's a wrap. Keep on moving. And that can be a daily occurrence. But you sit back and invest time, energy, and effort into a relationship and you get this kind of conduct, that's not acceptable. And it's even less acceptable when you have children involved. It's even less acceptable when you have children involved. And that's why we have so many splintered families. See, a splintered family is not just is not a family who is like just like divided in parts. A splintered family, right? People live everywhere. I'm not just going to live in Philly as a father. I need to maintain that connection. But what happens is people move away from each other. People get out of relationships. And then that's where the severing of the ties begins. We had a failed relationship. So you mad at me because I went outside the marriage. I went outside the relationship. What they got to do with the child? Nothing. That is the most disrespectful, unappreciative action that you can take. First and foremost, God bless you to have that child. There are people out there who will never have children. There are people out there who can never have children. There are people who are trying hard to make children. And here you are destroying the life of a child because of your own selfish wants and needs. Because he didn't do this for you. He didn't do that for you. And vice versa. Okay, so you failed as boyfriend and girlfriend. You failed as husband and wife. What does that have to do with the child? Nothing. Nothing. You picked me, and now you want to bash me to my child. But the disrespect began before that. It's your own conditioning. I forgot what the guy's name is. Because I follow a variety of people, man. I want to know what the other side is thinking. I want to know what the racists are thinking. I want to know what the nationalists are thinking. Black and white. I want to know what everybody is thinking. Why? Because at the end of the day, I'm always in the middle of it somehow. I want to know what other people think. And I forget this guy's name. I just recently started following my tattoo artist that actually brought him up. Um, and it's a matter of uh, learning to understand why we are perceived as we are. And one of the biggest things that was talked about was our children and how we fail our children. Yeah. And the elements, because there's systematic things that do that as well. But we just don't hang in there. We just don't hang in there. We just don't continue. Like when me and my children's mother separated and eventually divorced, right? It was really at at a hearing that we had, a custody hearing that we had, where we really sat down for the first time in all the years that we had been together, right? To nobody's fault. But all the years we had been together, and we sat down and we had a conversation, right? Because my actions hinged on off of an event that happened, and that's how we wound up with the court situation, because I pursued custody because of something that had transpired, right? Um, and we don't need to go into detail because it's not important. I'm just trying to show you like how it all developed. So we sat down and we had the conversation. That wasn't what I was pursuing. I was pursuing it in reaction to the situation that had happened. So we sat down and we talked. I was like, listen, I don't do holidays. I'm good with that. I don't do this, so I'm good with that. And she said, well, I'm good with this. I'm good with that. And we've been co-parenting ever since. And our children are damn near 40. See, when I learned to move past my stuff, when I learned to stop calling her outside of her name because I was angry, at things that had transpired between the two of us, when I learned how to stop banging on the phone, right? When I just say, listen, start saying things like, listen, this conversation is like not going anywhere. We're not getting any result. I'm going to just talk to you later. Okay. Right. As opposed to right mid conversation, just slam the phone down because I'm tired of hearing the same stuff. Or I'm just not tired of hearing the stuff that's not relevant. So when I started changing that interaction, things improved between the both of us. It's two hurt people, plain and simple. Hurt people hurt people. So once we got past that stage, right? We've been the best co-parenters you can ever imagine, right? When things happened in the household with her dude who was was staying there, right? Me and dude had our little standoff in the street, and after that, me and him was good. Anytime something was going on, say, hey, give me a call. First time he called me, everything went, well, no more drama. So you can put fires out. You can learn how to do these things. And I showed him respect because of what he was trying to do. But when you're trying to do something, you also have to take instruction, direction, and information, valid information from the biological father. And those are kind of conversations that we have to have, right, as men. So when you look at splintering, a lot of the splintering, right, has to do with the new dude who is insecure, who is now with her, who is insecure about you, who wants to tell you how this is going to be handled. And you allow that to happen. You allow the new dude to turn around and say, well, he ain't. No, No, hold up, Negro. That's my child's father. You don't dictate that. You don't dictate that. You don't make that decision. You don't make a decision how often the father can come and get his child. You don't make that kind of decision. If I find it to be this or I find it to be that, then I'm telling you how it's going to happen. So, dude, there's two problems there. The first thing is new dude and his desire to prevent what may happen between you and dad, right? Which you can't do nothing about that. For what? Why you fighting a losing battle, man? Right? Then his own insecurities, and sometimes it's justifiable depending on how the interaction is between the two of you. So that's where you, as the mother, have to make sure that you're showing that father respect anytime you're engaging him, and especially in the presence of new dude. Because main man gonna have a problem with that. Main man gonna have a problem with y'all greeting each other with a hug. Main man gonna have a problem with any sign of being cordial because for him that's a threat, right? So you need to make sure there are boundaries, clear boundaries set. So when dad come over, dad call, you need to make sure your conversation, right, is in order. Sure, you can be cordial, but when you start keying and busting it up too long and being on the phone for a length of time, no, what is he calling for? Are y'all having a conversation about the child? Well, why isn't he talking to the child? Is there a need? How long does it take for you to say, hey, listen, graduation is coming up. The play is coming up this week, and the football game is coming up this week. Just want to holler at you and let you know that. Why is there a need to hear the voice? Right? Send a text. Everybody else does it. Hell, you don't. You send me more text than you send dude. You have to look at all of those things. If you're text messaging me all the time, but yet and still you're having a phone conversation with the father all the time, and it seems to be a whole bunch of giggles and laughs, like those things you have to check. You can't sit here and say, oh, no, it's cool. No, it's not cool. Especially when y'all are engaging each other better than we are. See, these are the kind of things that we as men look at as being respectful. As being respectful. Things that most women don't tend to look at. Because most women are conditioned to determine whether a person is jealous, envy, controlling. These are, see, y'all already have a list, a checklist when you're engaging males as to what you're going to accept and what you're not going to accept. And most of that came from either your girlfriend's conditioning, your caretaker's conditioning, your mother's conditioning, and then that ties into her failed relationships. You see where all this gets tied in? See, I don't care nothing about dude coming to get his children, coming to get his child. I don't care. Yo, come on in, bro. What's up, man? How you doing? You see that game today? Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, yeah. Okay, bro, you have a good one. That's the kind of relationship men have. Men have, right? Nah, dude, you ain't got to sit in the car and wait. Come on in and sit on the chair. All that old rah-rah stuff. We ain't doing none of that. We're men. We both have the same responsibility for that child. When that child comes to visit me, your biological child comes to visit me, that's my responsibility to make sure that that child is just as safe as if it was my biological child. All that old rah-rah stuff, we need to stop that. We need to stop all that flex and everything, especially when it involves your child. That's your child, fool. Why would you want to make an enemy out of me? But that's the mother's responsibility also to build that relationship. One of my children was born out of wedlock, right? I saw to it. I made sure that I had a conversation. Well, we eventually became exes, but I made sure, like after the marriage had ended, right, and whatnot. Like, listen, when we separated, listen, this is their sister. This is their sister. They want their sisters to come over. It doesn't make sense for for them to not have their sister over because of a an act of infidelity on my part. or because that's not your biological. That's their sister. No matter which way you cut this, that's their sister. And it took a while. And I'm appreciative of the fact that my children's mother allowed, their sister to start coming over, and she eventually she came to love her just like she was one of her own, right? But it took work. It took work, and it was a matter of the respect that she had for me because of the respect that I gave to her. And don't jump on it talking about, oh yeah, see that's what I mean. All dudes ain't like. It's not about what all dudes are like. It's about you being a grown up about this and thinking in terms of the best interests of the child. It had nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with me wanting to pat myself on the back for any doings. It had everything to do with the fact that they're siblings. They're siblings. And siblings should be able to see one another as much as they can whenever possible. And they're all close. All their children. They were all three of them were pregnant at the same time. That's a whole nother show. We ain't gonna do that today. But all three of them got pregnant at the same time. Yeah. All of them gave birth, I think it was like within 30 days or so of each other. And they all had girls, their first children, they all had girls. Right? But it was important. It was important, to maintain a civil relationship first and foremost. It's not about me expecting. When you're in this kind of situation, you want to be respected no matter what. But when you're trying to tone things down, you have to have conversations. You have to have conversations that are productive and not talking about the same stuff. You need to establish very clearly what boundaries, should be had here. No, we're not sleeping together again. That's dead. That's over. We ain't going to do that one because that's going to make it more difficult for the transition out of this thing. But as long as you keep sleeping together, right, intermittently, it ain't going to never change. It ain't going to never get no better because she still thinks one thing about having sex and you still think another thing about having sex. But it was always that way. Sex probably not the issue between the two of you. It was everything else. That's why people continue to sleep with their exes because sex was not the issue. Right? So let's go to the article. Okay. So just a reminder, the article is from the Not Alone website. Okay. It's a website on relationships, care, money, health, mental health, parenting, on personal growth and development. Plain and simple. It's a really good site. It's the first time I had actually been on this site when I came across the article because I had Googled respect. And what I found is when I Googled what respect means to men, there weren't a lot of articles. So it's not a whole lot of people really putting stuff out there on what men really want. You got a couple people who threw books out there and whatnot, but you don't have like real research. Because my first resource is always Psychology Today, but you don't have a whole lot of content out there that's credible, evidence based. So you got a lot more. So you can't just, So I had to really look at the articles, look at some of the research and some of the data that I was seeing to see what article. And this seemed to be an article that was in alignment with my thinking, what I hear from other men. I told you about the post that I had did from my reels. It like everybody. It was men. It was rappers. It was pastors, preachers, the everyday Joe. It was different men from different walks of life, and everything came down to respect. Everything came down to respect. Respect for men is love. Love is not respect. Be real clear on that. I love this coffee. I do. I love the tumbler that was designed by Aline for you. That can be found on alineforyou.net. Check it out, right? I love this coffee. I love coffee. I drink different brands of coffee. I do. But if it's only tea available, I'm going to drink tea. You understand what I'm saying to you? So, keep talking about how much you love me. Well, you love men. I love women. There's a lot of different flavors out there. Herbal tea, black tea, white tea, green tea, sleepy time tea, different teas. But at the end of the day, man, it's like you telling me you love me means very little if it's not followed up with respect. Period. I'm not one of those who is a strong believer in we have a falling out and we go have great sex and that's the mantra of our relationship. So we argue, fuss, and fight because we have this fantastic, wonderful, great sex afterwards. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard of. It's sick, right? But it's a lot of people who go with that. And because they go with that thinking, if you have a woman that goes with that thinking, right, that thinking comes from somewhere. It comes from somewhere, right? So she's been conditioned to believe that the yelling and the screaming and the arguing and physical confrontations, it's part of it. That's love. That conditioning came from somewhere. Therefore, it's coming to you. You got to cut it off. You can't save somebody from themselves. I just did a design about how you can't change anyone. You can't even stop trying to. You understand that? Yeah, I just did the shirt. So the shirt will be out soon. Be on coffee mugs and a whole bunch of other merchandise. But just think about that for a minute. You're trying to do everything you possibly can, love it away, gift it away, go away, and you always come back to it. So you can't even stop yourself from trying to change that person. I should tell you how difficult change is. You want that person to be all that they can be, like they're going into the armed forces or something. But it's what you want them to be. It's not be all you can be. It's be all I want you to be. So the article is talking about 17 powerful ways to show respect to your husband and why it matters. The takeaways from this article: respect strengthens emotional connection. Attention shows you value him. Encouragement fuels his confidence. Kindness fosters deeper intimacy. Gratitude enhances mutual respect. And when you look at the takeaways of this article, you really see how in depth this content is. Because very few women, and I'm going to say this out loud, I feel very few women understand men and spend an insurmountable amount of time of wanting men to understand them and accept them and be this man that they have created within their own mind and what a man should do in regards to having a relationship with a woman. It's already been thought out. You're supposed to do this for me. You're supposed to do that for me. If you don't open the car door, that for me, that's a sign. If you don't do this, if you don't do that, if you don't pay on the first date, you know what I'm saying? That's a sign. A sign of what? It's a sign of the expectation that you have of what you think he should do for you. Because somebody told you that's what he should be. So when you come to me with this idea, not ideal, of how I should be acting towards you. What I'm supposed to be to you is loving, caring, respectful, nurturing, protective, those kinds of things. Those are my responsibilities to you. My responsibility is not to get you a $400,000 house. My responsibilities are not to go to the best jewelry store and buy you the best of this, that. If I so desire to do that, I will. And for those of you who profess religion, y'all need to go back and read your books and have study time together. So y'all all come to the same conclusion of how you treat your husband. If you coming with the wrong man, you got the wrong man. Just walk away. Don't lump all men into the same group, into the same mindset, because you're destroying good men out there with that kind of behavior. It's sickening. Most men are not out there just doing what it is that you've been told that we do, that we just hoes and all this. No, most men want a loyal woman. Most men, it says right here in these takeaways, what happened? Respect strengthens emotional connection. You know how many men are just not emotionally connected? Are not emotionally connected? And we become more and more disconnected emotionally when we are constantly shown disrespect in our relationship. Me, I just shut down altogether. I can't do it. I can't mess with you. I can't. I may care deeply about you, but eventually, and I'm a Libra too, eventually you get cut off at the knees. I'll act like I don't even know you. I'll act like I don't even know you. Walk right past you in aisle 24 in Walmart and keep right on going. If I see you coming, I may go the other way. It's no need for us to make eye contact. None of that. If you did me dirty, I'm done with you. Right? Attention shows you value him. We want to feel value too. The only time you know what dad does in the house in so many instances is when something gets broken, when a utility gets cut off, when something needs to be repaired. That's the only time in so many households that anybody knows what dad does, because men are task oriented, and a woman has to understand what it means to be task oriented. We need to get it done. That's scripture. What do you think Adam was doing when he was toiling alone before Eve? What do you think he was doing? Why is one the bride and one's the groom? Look those words up. Look up bride and look up groom, and you'll come to understand that. See, don't tell me you're a believer and you don't even practice what it is that you're preaching. Because you're not. Oh, you Muslim, and how you know? Because I read every book. I read King James Version. I read Old Testament. I read New Testament. I read Quran. I read Torah. I've studied them. And I didn't have to allow anybody to sit in front of me and tell me what it is I'm going to take away from it. I read myself. I went to Quranic studies. Quranic studies entails an understanding of scripture, because as a Muslim, I believe in God, his angels, his messengers, his books, and the afterlife. What is a Muslim? A Muslim is one who submits to the will of God. But y'all rather fall for social media and let social media tell you what a Muslim is. Some radical individual walking around here who wants to wreak havoc upon America, which is a bunch of lies. That's what you rather believe. They can tell you anything, as they have been, as they will continue to, and you will continue to believe that. A lot of you non-Muslims are so divided because you came to believe that there's something different. But how do you call yourself any kind of minister, any kind of pastor? The only way you can get that title is to have gone through theological studies. And if you truly are studying theology, you would know what you're preaching is wrong. There's only a few open-minded pastors and ministers out there who are non-Muslim, who have the understanding of Islam. Islam is a way of life. It's a way of life. In the Quran itself, it says, in it is guidance. Right? So, see, that's another thing that plays into relationships as well. Because I have the background in understanding and teachings, and I choose today not to profess any religion. I want to learn how to live. And my instruction, my guidance comes through Quranic studies, studies of all the books. So whatever it is that you're professing, study it on your own. But until you understand your own humanity, right? Your own humanity, your own purpose, right? For your creation as man and woman, you're going to always continue to go this route. The other bulleted item it has, encouragement fuels his confidence. You think that men lead by their genitals. That's what somebody told you, that we're always thinking with the wrong head. No, we need confidence building as well. See, when you're the king of your own castle, when you're the minister, the imam of your home, right? Sometimes when you see that disrespect, it's disheartening. It makes you feel like you can't stand straight up. Your crown has to tilt, right? Because you're not getting the respect that you think you deserve, right? So we need from our confidence to be fueled. That means that you need to show us you have our back. That means if we say something, that you need to stand with it, even in times that you disagree with it. You don't have to agree with everything. Have the conversation with one another. Express your voice. Your voice should be heard if he truly is king. If you don't feel like your voice is heard, you need to have that conversation. If you conclude through that conversation and other conversations and all of your efforts that he's not the one that's going to be wearing the crown in your home. It's real simple. You don't have to become disrespectful, because like you, he too wanted to be understood. Right? So we need confidence, but that's part of Eve's role to Adam. That's part of her role. God saw that was the need for him. He saw the change in Adam after Adam's creation. That was apparent. That's why he gave Adam a partner. I don't know what was going on with Adam at that time when God had him out there in that place. But he saw something was needed for Adam. Gave him a partner. But it wasn't just any partner. He could have cloned him and said, here's somebody else to play with. He gave him a partner. And you need to look that up. See, you need to look up words so you have an understanding of what your role is. Kindness fosters deeper intimacy. Oh, he don't talk that much. He don't say a whole lot. Again, man is created task oriented. You want to have deeper intimacy, and I'm not talking about sex. And that's another part of confusion. Some of y'all think that the frequency of sex determines the level of intimacy y'all have. Some of y'all just stop at sex because you don't build nothing else. You don't build on communication. You don't build on fun times. You don't have date nights. You don't walk down the street and hold hands. You don't take the moments that you have together and make them the most valuable moment, because it could be the last moment. You don't do that. The last one here was gratitude enhances mutual respect. Anytime my woman brings me anything, I say thank you. She brings me a cup of water. Thank you. She didn't have to bring it. She could have told me get it my damn self. Right? Anything she does for me, I say thank you. Men want the same damn thing. But when you come into this relationship and you have the expectation that you want him to wine and dine you and do all this for you, it's an expectation. Therefore, there's no gratitude in that. There's no gratitude in that. Ungrateful people will never thank you for anything they expect for you to do. Children expect for you to do this for them, expect for you to do that for them. And for you believers out there, y'all should be taking them to the book and y'all should be showing them what a parent is supposed to give a child. And it's not PlayStations, it's not Jordan sneakers, it's not all the things that they think they should have. It's not. That's part of the problem. You're making children attend religious services, but you're not teaching them the book. And that's why they're so damn ungrateful in this day and age. That's why they walk around with $2,000-$3,000 phones. That's why they walk around with the attitudes that they have, because they don't have that $2,000-$3,000 phone. And you think getting it for them is going to help them to love you more, to be a better child. No. And then the father who has the mindset that I'm talking about that should exist goes through all the conflict and confrontation with you because you keep doing it. And he keeps telling you and showing you what the outcome is going to be. The expectation is that of him. Now, y'all separated. So the child has a different perspective of the father because of expectations that you laid out to the child. Oh, well, he ain't bought me nothing. He ain't bought none of that. My mom buys me this. My mom bought my dad don't do none of, he don't do nothing. So you understand? So this is furthering splintering the family. That's a lack of respect. No, your father doesn't celebrate holidays. Don't expect for him to adhere to something that you do. Don't expect for phone calls and all that. My children know. I don't celebrate holidays. I celebrate joy in my family. So what I do in my household with and for my family is a matter of what is their happiness. Me carrying a Christmas tree doesn't mean that I view that Christmas tree as any level of symbolism to my life. It has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with me carrying a tree, decorating a tree. I see it as a tree. They see it as a symbol of. It's a matter of trying to understand and not being understood. I should be the joyless one when it comes to particular holidays. This is what they recognize. Okay, I teach my child what it is I want to teach my child about understanding holidays. My children will tell you. My children will tell you. So when you look at gratitude, enhancing mutual respect, I'm grateful for my woman. Because I'm grateful for my woman, I'm going to make sure I do everything within reason to ensure her happiness. That's my job. If I say, babe, I'm not, she's good with that. Why? Because I have conversation with her, because she understands me. And we just keep moving. Right? But saying thank you is easy. 2 words. And so many women out there can't even use those 2 words because of unrealistic expectations that they have set upon the man. But you got a whole laundry list of stuff you can bring out when I say something to you about it. Now you want to clap back because I didn't clap at you. Right? Because I'm pretty patient and pretty tolerant about some stuff. But then as soon as I flex on you, now you want to start bringing out laundry. But all you had to say was thank you. Like, damn, babe, can you say thank you sometimes to me? Can you make me feel like, I'm doing something and not like I need to do more for you? Because I felt like that in many relationships. And it's men out there who feel that way. Like, really? I just went and bought you a $500 bracelet. And thank you. Wasn't like the thank you was thank you. I always wanted this. Not thank you. See, there's a difference. There's a difference. thanking me for my generosity, thanking me for being who I am, thanking me for thinking enough for you to have something like this, believing that you deserve to have something like this. See, this is different. It's a difference. The mindset is different. I'm grateful for you as my husband, as my man. I'm grateful for you. Thank you for thinking I deserve such a gift. Now, thank you. I can go see my girlfriends now. Yeah. That's the thank you many of us get most of the time. Yeah. Let me put this on the way it is tonight to the club, to the girls' night out. Yeah. Let me go show it off to them. But how many times do you show me off? How many times have you made the suggestion? You know, we have girls' night out once a month. Why don't we bring our significant other? Let's make it interesting. Did you ever bring that up to show me off? See, when you start isolating with your girls, right? You start isolating yourself with bad information a lot of times. Yeah. And then information regarding you and me becomes part of the dialogue that y'all have, right? And then expectations again shift. So let's go on down because I think we stopped we stopped just before the list. We stopped at what does respect mean and why is respect important in marriage, and the takeaways from what does respect mean to a man to the article. Respect doesn't mean agreeing with everything he says or does, but it means acknowledging his perspective and engaging him with in a way that promotes trust and openness. It's about showing up for him, being mindful of how you communicate, and offering support in both the good and bad times. Offering support, right? It's a lot. You want to get the man to begin to trust you. That's important to us. You know, we need to know that you have our back. Plain and simple. We need to know that you got our back, right? We need to know that you ain't gonna like break it the first sign of distress, right? We need to know those things. We need to know that we can be open to you. That if we need to shed some tears, that we can, and we won't be judged for it. Why would you judge a man for being emotional, right? Because there's some corny ass information, bad information that somebody gave you about men. Men shouldn't cry. Men shouldn't be emotional. Well, how's she going? That don't mean I can't knock a Negro out. That don't mean I can't protect you. It means I'm a human being. It means I'm a human being. And that's a damn good thing. When you can get a man to be emotional around you, that's a damn good thing. You've achieved a lot. That means that he has given his heart to you. But you don't look at it from that perspective because some fool and told you otherwise. And then you complain, oh, he don't talk enough. Well, he hasn't found the conditions that allow him to be open, to talk about his struggles, to talk about his difficulties. Why is respect important? To take away from that one, without respect, back to the article, without respect, misunderstandings turn into arguments and distance can grow. But when you prioritize showing respect, it reinforces the emotional bond and keeps the relationship strong and resilient, even through life challenges, right? Life's challenges. It didn't say nothing about infidelity, life's challenges. Infidelity is not life's challenges. Infidelity is a decision that somebody made over being trustworthy and talking about what's going on. And if it ain't working, to just move on. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. That's not a good route. It's not going to be anything good to come from that. Life's challenges is you're living with another person. Imagine living with yourself. Could you really live with yourself? Just think about that for a moment. We clone you and you spend 72 hours. I'm going to give you that much time. 72 hours. I guarantee you in 72 hours, you will be so sick of your damn self that you will want to move out, that you will want to come out of that relationship. But if you're not really looking at yourself, if you're not really doing a self-assessment, if you're not being observant of your attitudes and behaviors and your ideas, when you're interacting with your partner, you're going to keep having the same failed situations over and over again because you don't think you're the problem. It's always the other person. It's always the other person. You want other people to change. You want other people to do something different while you continue to do the same thing, expecting different results. You think that you can stay just the way you are, having poor communication, having this ratchet behind attitude, right? Having these unrealistic expectations of what I need to do for you. You think you can go from relationship to relationship with that same attitude and the outcome is going to be different. It's not possible. So, number one, give him your full attention. Be present and engage. One of the simplest yet most meaningful ways to show respect to your husband is to be fully present when he's speaking. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Our phones, work, and even our own thoughts can pull us away from truly engaging in conversation. But when you give him your undivided attention, you send a powerful message that says, you matter to me. You matter to me. I mean, just think for a minute. If you're talking, your husband is sitting at his computer. He's just, doing some work on the computer. And you come and you want to talk to him. And he continues typing while you're talking to him. How does that make you feel? How does that make you feel when he continues typing while you're talking to him? Do you feel like he's valuing you? Do you feel like there's any respect in that interaction? Like, dude, I'm talking to you and you just sitting there typing. Oh, yeah, well, I'm here. I'm listening, though. No. Stop typing. It's a lot of times I'm working on music, I'm working on projects, right? And I hate being interrupted. But as much as I hate being interrupted when I'm in my flow, especially, right? I take the headphones off. What's up? Even though I'm annoyed, take the headphones off. What's up? It goes a long way. It goes a long way. And even though she knows that I'm annoyed, right? I hate to do this, but right? I have to look at that. I have to look at how much energy it took for her to come to me about something while I was in that mode. Then I'm going to turn around and make it feel worse? No. But just imagine that how often you do that to your husband. The phone rings. You got to answer the phone. Why? You got to answer the phone for what? I'm here. You're here. The kids are here. What's the need for you to pick up the phone right this moment and answer the phone? I don't get it. Help me to understand that. That's disrespectful. And you shouldn't be doing that to a person you claim you love. That's not appropriate. That's why you keep having these failed ass relationships. That's why you keep having this drama. Then you have to understand some people are just drama driven. Those people I stay the hell away from. They bring out the worst in me. But you have to look at, yo, babe, that can't wait? Why do you even have to look at the phone? Right now, I want to talk to you. I need to talk to you. And if I'm coming to you, you need to be respectful. Put the phone down, right? Don't pick the phone up. Stop whatever it is you're doing. Dinner's going to get cooked, but I just need you to I need you to listen to me for a minute. I need to talk to you. Turn the fire down on the stove, put it on simmer, and come on and sit down here and talk. Listen. I may just need you to listen. I may not need you to talk. Right? But you have to create that kind of environment. Where were we at? Okay. This means putting down the phone, turning off the TV, and making eye contact. That's important. Now, you can tell when I'm highly annoyed, because when I'm talking to you, my eye contact is not all that good with you. And it's for two reasons. One reason is my feelings are probably hurt. The other reason is because my feelings are probably hurt, I don't want to react to your spirit. Because if I react to your spirit, then it's not going to be good for you spiritually or me. You understand what I'm saying? So if I am highly annoyed with you, it's a good chance I'm not making eye contact with you. Right? So when your husband is coming to you and he wants to talk, don't be sitting there flipping your hair, counting beads, and all the stuff that it already said here, and not looking at him. You know, just sitting there looking at the TV while he's talking to you. He's talking to the side of your face. That's disrespectful. It is disrespectful. You understand what I'm saying to you? It is disrespectful. Stop doing it. Engagement is not passive. Lean into the conversation, right? Ask questions and show interest in what he's sharing. When we do this, we show respect by validating his thoughts, feelings, and experiences. And this is how we come to know each other. A lot of time, people are together for years and know little to nothing about each other because everything is based on the task at hand. Everything is based on the things that continue to develop each day. We get up, we have the same routine. We go to work, the kids from school, we come home, we eat dinner, we get into bed. It's the same routine. There's no development of the relationship. It's usually when something happens, right, that questions begin to be asked. Well, how did and what the no, this is why you have to create an environment of being able to have conversation. But creating environment is two people. It's not just one person creating that environment. The one person who is resistant to the environment has to do more work because they've already been shown in some way, shape, form, or fashion how this behavior creates divide between us. Some people don't want to confront issues. Therefore, they do nothing. So therefore, there is no conflict on their part because, well, I didn't even say anything. It's the justification. But you did. You said a lot. You said a lot by being silent. You said a lot by just sitting down looking down at your phone when I'm talking to you. You said a lot when you kept on typing. You said a lot. You said a whole lot. Respect. Because we too have feelings. We too have ideas and stuff like that. We're not just your boy toys. And all too often, there's a lot of women out there treating men like boy toys. It's disrespectful. I'm not your damn ATM. What I got? Chase Bank written across my forehead? Huh? Zales Jewelry Store written on my neck? No, Sabir is written on my neck. Come on. And y'all know y'all doing it. For those of you who do it, you know you're doing it. And it's wrong. Because when you get treated like that, you're the first one to cry foul. You're the first one that run out there, hook up with somebody else, and call that the solution to the unresolved in that relationship that you are supposed to be monogamous in. That's your justification. Number two, ask about his day. Show genuine interest in his life. Not just, well, I'm glad he's getting up to go to work because, bills got to be get paid, and I want this and I want that. So I'm glad he going to work. Girl, you should be glad you got a man who works and ain't out there hustling in the streets. And you got to keep getting these phone calls that he's locked up. So every time he get locked up, you got to go pay his bail. Every time you pay his bail, every damn thing that he done bought you, actually you done doubled in his bail. So you ain't getting, but you still with him. So, and you need to stop talking about him. Number two, asking about his day is such a small gesture, but it carries enormous weight in a relationship. It's a way of checking in with him emotionally, seeing how things are going in his world, and showing that you care about the details of his life. When you ask, how was your day? And generally listen to the answer, you create space for open communication and connection. And this is even of the most importance for relationships between black men and black women. Black men have a lot to contend with. Black males have a lot to contend with. Black little boys have a lot to contend with. Being black, we have a lot to contend with in such a divided world, a divided country. We have a lot to contend with every single day. And then we have to contend with a woman who's ungrateful in so many cases, a woman who shows us no respect. A woman, you understand what I'm saying? No man wants to deal with that. No man wants to deal with that. And then the first question you ask, why cheating ain't gonna make no difference, but you're doing it. You're doing it in your mind, even though you haven't physically hooked up with somebody. You've tired of him because you don't understand him, because you don't understand what he's experiencing every day, because you have no understanding yet whatsoever of what his struggles are outside of this relationship. You have no understanding of what baggage he has brought with him, because we all carry baggage. We all have skeletons in our closet. We all do. But you have no idea anything about him other than what he can do for you. And what has he done for you lately? That's all you really know about him. It's just as bad for men. The only thing you know about her is that she's the mother of your child, that she has two sisters and a grandmother, who just turned 85. You don't really know her. You don't know anything about her. So when you ask him, how was his day? That means a lot. That means a lot. And one day you're going to ask that question and he's just going to break down. I did that. Right? Because I have a person who genuinely listens, who genuinely asks me how my day was, how was work. And when I got to the point of I had just crashed and burned and made a decision, I needed to just retire from 30 years of taking in so much in the past 5 years, doing so much, back and forth, up and down the highway, 4, 6, 8 hours. It took a toll on me. I'm thankful that I had a woman who I could come home to and say, hey, whose shoulder I could cry on and say, yo, I am so burnt out. I am so mentally just drained, and just let it out. And she told me it was going to be okay. We're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. Right? Listen, I'm the king of the jungle. I'm the king of the castle. I'm the imam, the minister, the pastor of my home. it don't mean that I don't hurt too. It don't mean that I don't need support. I don't need, guidance from you sometimes. Yeah, I need guidance. Like, what do you think about this, babe? But if we are seeing we get no respect, you'll never get that from us. You'll never get that from us. We'll take it somewhere else. Yeah, we'll take it somewhere else. We'll take it to the bar, the shooting gallery, the hit house. It is we bring it, right? We bring in paper. So we back on YouTube, right? Um, they know what we're bringing, right? And they're grateful for us to be there. If you getting getting your flow on and you ain't got no money, all you bought is like one tote with you, right? And hey, yo, what's up, Sabir? You know what they feel like? It's like going to Cheers. Everybody knows your name. Everybody, hey, that's why people go to those kind of places. We should be going to our spouses for that. That's what you're for. I'm supposed to be going home and having drinks with you, busting it up with you, right? Crying, woe is me with you. That's why so many dudes wind up in a titty bar, making it rain, and come home and can't wet anything, right? So you got to look at those kind of things, man, because this is real. It's real. He's respected. He's loved in that moment. He's cared for. Yo, he in there with a bunch of dudes doing the same thing, right? They trying to find some relief from the ratchetness that they getting at home, and they there. How about you go get yourself a pole? How about you get yourself a little outfit, right? And this weekend, you go ahead and drop it like it's hot. Give him a couple of bumps and grinds, and just all kind of stuff that you could do. If that's what he like, give him what he like. You too busy chastising them for doing it. Why you always looking at porn? Why don't you never take your clothes off? Come on. You're coming up with all kind of stuff as an argument, and you're not looking at your contribution. So when you come home from work and you're not interested in his day, it's just easier to go elsewhere to where he feels like people are interested in his day. It just don't make sense, right? This practice, back to the article, this practice also opens up the opportunity for him to share more of his thoughts and feelings with you, creating a stronger emotional connection. Taking time to engage in these small daily check-ins shows your husband that you respect his experiences and that you're invested in his well-being. I pursue conversations about a person's life. I want to know what makes you tick. I need to know what makes you tick. Because when you go talk, I need to be there. I need to be able to catch you when you fall. I need to be able to be right there for you to help you with that hurt that just showed up. Tick, 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 tock. It's a problem. She's going through it. You should be aware. But you have to be aware. As my wife, as my woman, you have to be aware. You should be able to see that wounded look in my eyes. You should be able to see the look of defeat in my face. You should be able to see that I'm going through something. You should be able to see, like you expect me to be able to see. You can't keep telling me I don't understand and I this and I don't. If you're not opening your mouth, then you're not having conversation with me. That's part of me feeling valued as well. When you stop picking up the phone and calling your girlfriends, when you stop calling your mother and telling your mother all of our damn business, when you stop talking to me about what's going on with you. How did I make you feel about something? If I said something, because I can be crass with my mouth. If I'm involved in work and I'm like, I can be very short, and being very short can be hurtful. But you don't bring out a laundry list and knowing who I am and how I interact with you, and you fail to say, hey, listen, you hurt my feelings when you said that. I'm sorry. Anybody who knows me will know that. I would immediately apologize because I know the spaces that I'm in. When I'm working, I don't like to be bothered. When I'm like, if I'm in the crib sometimes, like I'll get up and I'm going to head downstairs. My wife will grab my arm, like to hold me back, to pull me back, because that's her moment. And I want to keep going, right? Because that's how I am. I know that can be hurtful. Because in that moment, she may just want a hug. And I know sometimes when I'm going in my direction, and I don't want to be interrupted because I'm moving, because that's how I am. That's who I am. Like, don't stop me right now because I need to go do this. This is what I'm going to do. I don't like to be delayed. I like to get it done. Again, I'm task oriented already as a male. I'm a get it done kind of person. I don't like to delay things. I don't like to procrastinate. I have enough of being a perfectionist, which sometimes, it's a relative of procrastination, because when you're trying to get something perfect, sometimes you get delayed in getting it done. So I'm not a procrastinator. I go. If I'm laying in the bed and I get up because I'm ready to go get coffee, I don't want you to stop me from going to get my coffee. Is it wrong? No, that's how I am. Can it sometimes pose some difficulty for somebody else? Yes, I have to acknowledge that. And I have to do something about, hey, I'm sorry. I was just, come on. You got to fix it. I may never stop doing that. That's who I am. It's just like there are some things you're never going to stop doing. Everybody is not this person, a person who keeps things neat and in order and this, that, and the other. But that doesn't mean that I don't stop making sure, I say something about it. I say less. I pick stuff up myself. I'll just come downstairs and see stuff. And I'll just start out. Yeah, I'll be annoyed. I'll just put the stuff away. Why? Because if I keep walking back and forth through that living room and keep seeing things out like that, it's just going to continue to annoy me. Why take myself through that torture? That's why I said pain is part of life. Suffering isn't. Don't continue to take yourself through changes about things that you can actually do something about, because then it's self-imposed. It's self-imposed. But then you come to a different conclusion about the person who doesn't do things that way. And that's something that I don't do. So acknowledge his feelings. And that's why I say I talk about it. Even though, like, listen, if I'm feeling it that day, I'm going to get that off me. I'm going to tell her, say, listen, we need to do a better job with, like, taking care of this and taking care of that. That's what it is that I just need some help with that. Right. It's not, I don't point fingers and say it's your fault, this, that, say, hey, listen, we just need to do a better job working together to keep these things, cleaned up, folding up the blankets, little throw blankets and stuff we have and doing this, whatever it may be. It's having a conversation, because that's how I am. Once it's on my spirit, it stays on my spirit. And I'm going to speak to it. Because if I don't speak to it, then I'm allowing it to fester. And that's not fair to the other person, because if when I allow it to fester, it always comes out offensive. I don't want to offend her. It's the same way when you're interacting with your husband, right? There's a right way and a wrong way to say, dude, can you clean your stuff up? And instead of getting mad at him and calling him a slob, this, that, and the other, pick it up. Just pick it the hell up. It bothers you that much, just pick it up, throw it in the laundry basket. Some things you have to accept. There's some things that are not like deal breakers in relationships that have become deal breakers because you allow them to build. You formulate your laundry list. Well, you don't do this and you don't do that. No, I speak to the things that happen in the moment. And in the moment is not always that moment, because you can add fuel to a fire that you don't need to. But it's going to be addressed within a reasonable amount of time where it's present. You don't beat a child 3 days later for something that they did 3 days ago. No. You don't give me a beating when I get home, a chastisement when I get home from church, when you need to go ahead and take me and scoop me up and take me in the bathroom now and deal with that. I'm not going to understand why you're beating me or chastising me, when we get home. I'm thinking I did something at home that I didn't do. And you're going to tell me, remember what you was doing in that church? No, I'm going to handle that now. I'm going to take you outside now. Understand? So you want to build that relationship. Ask me how I'm feeling. Ask me how I'm doing. So if you know something is going on and you know I tend to carry things, right? Hey, what's happening? Because I don't want you to go to work and say something and somebody said you said that you was going to bring harm to them. That's an inside joke. But because I've never. What I was telling somebody, I haven't had a physical altercation with anyone since 1977. 1977 was the last physical altercation that I had in my life. I've worked inside of prisons. I've worked in community corrections. I have never, since 1977, had a physical altercation. I haven't. I'm a person that purges himself of things. And I need to have a woman who allows me to purge myself to her. And I have one. In case y'all didn't know. Number 3, ask how he's feeling. Right? It's easy to get caught up in daily routines and forget to check in with how your husband is feeling emotionally. Men are often conditioned to hide or downplay their feelings, but that doesn't mean they don't want to be seen or understood. When you ask how he's feeling, it opens the door to emotional intimacy and creates a safe space for him to express himself. See, now that's the whole thing with men. See, men have to have a safe space to be emotional. Society has been conditioned, whereas when we see men being emotional, it's like the big story on Action News. He cried. Oh my God. He cried. But get the close up. Those are real tears, man. Oh my. You think he needs a mental health evaluation? Maybe he needs to be assessed. Oh, this must be devastating for him. All it is his daughter presenting a recital on stage at school. And look at him. He's nearly distraught. There's a tear on the right eye, too. Oh, yeah. I'm telling you, that's the society we live in. That men can't be emotional. They good showing us, at sporting events, for our kids, and us like slamming the coach or the ref to the ground. That's great stuff. Oh, we show that all the time. But a man standing on the sideline crying that his son just scored a touchdown. You know how many images that we've seen of late of LeBron James standing and watching his sons play ball? Yeah. The intimacy between him and his sons. You see a lot of that. But we do it every day. You don't see it. You don't see it in commercials. You don't see it in film. It's a film that's specifically geared towards that relationship. That's the title. But you won't just see it all the time, but you see it all the time with women. It's the separation, it's the conditioning that society has and continues to have. Psychologist Dr. Sue Johnson, known for her work on emotionally focused therapy, emphasizes the importance of emotional bonding in relationships. She explains partners need to be emotionally accessible, responsive, and engaged. By asking your husband how he's feeling, you're telling him your emotions matter to me. This practice helps build trust and shows that you're not interested in the superficial aspects of his life, but also in his internal world. And this is important to understand because you got to first look at how you met. If you met and you connected because of a physical attraction, right? You had sex, good or bad, you had sex, right? And some bad sex does get a repeat performance because I promise to be better next time comes up. And okay, well, let me see because there's some potential. But anyway, so if you got together on a sex tip, you can't expect it to really blossom into anything intense, engaging, and emotional unless you start having conversations and not superficial talk, not not dialogue with the representatives, but with the real people. We're going to stop here. So listen, it's three. There's 17 on this list, man. It's 17 on this list. So that means there's a whole lot of possibilities for your relationship with your husband, with your boyfriend, to change, to improve. But you need to first understand what respect looks like to him, not what respect looks like to you. To you. Like you can love me the way you know how to love me, but you have to learn how to love me the way I need to be loved. And you're not going to learn how I need to be loved unless you sit down and have conversation with me to understand how I need to be loved. That's just a reality, folks. Can't put it to you another way. That's a reality. But some of y'all don't want to face reality, your own reality. So how could you possibly face the reality of uh, of my life? You can't face your own reality. It happens. Hold on a second. Yeah, it happens, man. So if you're not facing your reality, you can't face mine. You can't tell me anything about my life because you don't even know me. You don't know me. Most of y'all don't even know each other. And it's sad. It's sad to say that we have so many relationships that people are in and know absolutely nothing about one another. So we're at the hour. And as always, like listen, you could be doing anything. I don't want this. Like anything else. You can be doing anything else on a Saturday morning, 10 o'clock, than listening to my mouth. But here you be. And for those of you that don't get an opportunity to join me on Saturday mornings, you can always go to my Siberian educational station on YouTube. I'm typing in my old song and find out what's happening. Um, there are about 500 videos there that you can check out. Please go to uh, the the station. I've considered changing the name several times, but that's what it is. It's actually a an education station. It's a lot of information there: personal growth, development, relationships, building relationships, rebuilding relationships. Uh, Daddy's right here. It's a nonprofit family services organization that seeks to decrease father absenteeism. At some point in time this year, I'll be doing GoFundMe. It's necessary at this point that you know I get funding to have a place where men, fathers, can come, soon to be fathers, don't know if I want to be a father, hate being a father, can get together, and do some things with the children. I want to build education and supervision station. So it's a Daddy's right here visitation and education center where there'll be guests coming there talking about fatherhood, the significance of family. There'll be events that'll take place. There'll be men's groups taking place, uh, looking at substance abuse, uh, use, misuse, classes, courses, things of that nature, so we can start having that safe place. Men need to have that safe place. Males need to have that safe place to be able to discuss these things, man. Um, and in turn be able to take what they've learned in these sessions home and start making a contribution to making that change between them, their children, and or the mother of their children. This has to change. This has to change, right? The interpretation of men, the perception of men, of males, of the raising of males has to change, right? Whether it's by the father or the mother or both. We have to learn how to shape the child together. We keep trying to shape two different children in one child. You can't do that. You have to have conversation about what we're going to give our child in terms of their knowledge, their growth, and their development. You can't continue to split your child in half. You can't do that. That's not respectful. And when you take a father through all of these changes because of a failed relationship, that speaks volumes as to who you are as a person. And you're giving your child that same bad information. And that child is going to carry with the same attitude that you have given them. You chose that man, you slept with that man, you had a baby by that man. You have no right to bash the other person. If the person wants to be a good father, a bad father, that's not up to you. You're responsible for creating an environment of openness where, when and if that should happen, that he feels welcome. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. And it's easier said than done. You got to move past your own hurt. That in itself is a process. But if you still getting all balled up in a knot and you and dude ain't even together, you got to look at that. Yeah, look at that. Okay, we're 8 minutes past our time. Listen. Ask your husband what respect looks like to him. Don't go ask him, do you think I'm disrespectful? First of all, that tone is not even acceptable. Right? Look at how you talk to your man. Look at how you communicate to your man. This ain't just some dude out on the street. This is your husband. This is your man. Learn how to talk to him. Right? But ask him, what does respect look like to you in a relationship? Because I want to make sure that I'm showing you that. Because now I understand that respect supersedes everything for you as a man. and I want to be respectful to you at all times as my man. That's what you want to say to him. All that other rah-rah stuff, he probably already out. Anywho, you guys have a great Saturday morning. Again, I thank all of those who new supporters, longtime supporters of Daddy's right here, of Sabir Aleem, projects and things that I've done and continue to do. Make sure you check us out at aleemforyou.net. There's new merchandise, new designs getting ready to come out any day now. Uh, Pop up, working real hard on doing some pop ups this year, working on some merchandise now, putting some things together. I'm also going to be doing some showing, online showing of the stuff. So I'm going to set up another show where I'll be showing you on a weekly basis new products, designs, and things like that, and where our pop ups should be. But check us out online, aleemforyou.net. Listen. Thank you so much. Y'all have a great day. Peace. Great weekend, man. Just get it in. Get it in. Get it in. New music. The Devil's Burn.
This is one of those rides that goes until the wheels fall off. Certainly not for the faint-hearted or those who believe that turning the other cheek will be a deterrent for the predator who wreak havoc on God's creations, blaming the victims for their being victimized, hoping they'll continue standing on their weak principles.
I'm sorry, honey. I just see that you're watching. You wave to me.
There's always something coming your way. Whether it's tune, skip, stripped, or strewn, grip, flip, tsunami, or monsoon, it's inevitable in the course of a day.
Go Birds.
After a while, it all tastes the same. Staying in your lane is the name of this game. Never look back, it'll drive you insane. A nightmare for sure, chaos or theory. I just want to scream, but no one can hear me. Ooh, feel the devil's burn.
New music.
Ooh, feel the devil's burn. In this life, you don't get what you earn. Treat it like a doorknob, everybody gets a turn. Ooh, feel the devil's burn. Ooh, feel the devil's burn. Parents' lives riddled with strife. Their unresolved, a traumatic life.
Make sure you tune in next Saturday.
They bring
another great show, great topic.
Wanted to feel good for just one night. Both no good, then one took flight. I thought you understood. What a life they gave me, pleading God come save me. Profess religion's words enslaved me. 3/5 of a man, they made me. Why must I plan for a future when being present was never my choice? Ooh, feel the devil's burn. Ooh, feel the devil's burn. In this life, you don't get what you earn. Treat it like a doorknob, everybody gets a turn. Ooh, feel the devil's burn. Oh, feel the devil's burn. The devil's burn. Educators, journalists, and religious leaders patting themselves on the back. Colonizers, indoctrination, true knowledge they lack. They're merely babysitters for the capitalists, doing the bidding of the nationalists, basking in their passiveness. Damn socio-pacifists, all so naive, just have to laugh at this. In the best interest of a child, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention how America's courts dishonor this, incarcerating parents because of positive piss. In a free world, again, legal cannabis, not a nightmare for them. A manufacturer's bliss. Ooh, feel the devil's burn. Ooh, feel the devil's burn. In this life, you don't get what you earn. Treat it like a doorknob, everybody gets a turn. Ooh, feel the devil's burn. Ooh, feel the devil's burn. Government does anything but treads on democracy, just running amok. Flame from insurgents, your tail, your tuck. Don't look now, he's back, you're out of luck. Dictating the mood, house in session. The popular vote, the people's obsession. In 2028, no Democratic Party selection. Ancestry soul, rotten stone, behold, categorical deportation, the move was bold, illegal transportation, hiding the hand is old. The majority plot, see the 14th Amendment rot, saving the slot, minority not now, sinking in, skin too thick to win. Ooh, feel the devil's burn. Ooh, feel the devil's burn. Ooh, feel the devil's burn. The devil's burn. Devil's burn.
Peace.